Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining me or your counselors today. It's another Thursday, and every Thursday, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, we get to discuss on different issues that affect all of us, right? And these issues have to be sex, relationship, marriage, family life, parenting, and life generally. Throughout the month of September, we have tried addressing different issues that affect women, that concern women, and today we'll be taking the conversation further. Interestingly, I am glad to announce to you that our guest is already in the studio. Yes, she is, and she has always been my friend. And she's also a counselor of the Aura Passion. Ladies and gentlemen, daddies and mommies, brothers and sisters, eh? Join me, make welcome my friend
Hmm.
Adiola.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening,
Hi,
brothers and
hi, your body.
sisters. I'm good. So good to see you.
Thank you. It's been a while.
A very long while.
You married, and we decided to give you some space so that you can
I
at
married
least
your
have
brother.
time for your husband.
Yes, so
But on the right here, also, I wanted to know what's your new surname? Did you change your
Ayiwa.
surname? What is the new surname,
Yes, it's
ma'am?
Oladimiji Ayiwa.
Okay, Oladimiji Ayewa. Okay, I should memorize it. Although I still like your other name,
I like
Jemima.
your name.
So yes. Good to have you. Good to have you. So we'll go straight to the conversation while we wait for um, MMG to join us, right? So let's start. How was your wedding like? Jesus.
Hi.
Hmm.
Well, I will start by saying number one, the relationship itself
Mhm.
is a testimony. You and I
Yeah.
know, at least from from Tete,
Uh-huh.
you know this. Let's say the struggle or the story behind it, the testimony behind it. I'll call it a testimony because
Hmm.
everything just happened in space of few months, and
Mhm.
went from relationship, friendship. I would say friendship to getting married in less than 4 months. I think about 4 months, and
Yeah.
it's God. It's God, and I'll just say that it's good to be obedient. To be honest,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's God and it's a testimony. I'm so just amazed at how God does this thing and His wonders. It's just amazing. Um,
Hmm.
all right, to bear me witness that at a particular phase in my life, I had struggles with a bit of depression. I would say a bit of depression because
Hmm.
of not getting married, relationship
Hmm.
thing,
Hmm.
having the wrong set of men approaching you. But then
Hmm.
when God would do it, He did it in such a way that it was really, really amazing. And it can only be God
And
that takes the
it was
glory.
marvelous in our sight.
Definitely, it was. It is, and it is still marvelous in our side because sometimes when I think about it again, I'm like, is this how God does his things? When it's time, it's
Yeah.
time. So,
Yeah.
what I'll just say, like a sort of advice to every single person that is waiting on God for a life partner,
Mm.
just relax. When it is time, it is time.
Mm.
That's basically
Mhm.
it.
Yes, I remember. Okay, because we were friends for a while. I remember we bonded more during the YLF symposium while we were both YLF members,
Yeah.
and you are an executive member of the Young Lawyers Forum then, and I was privileged to head one of the committees by the forum, the symposium committee, and all of that. And even before your marriage, the two of us, we had already gotten an office. right?
Yes,
We'll
yes. We have partnership. We've even gone to the office
yes,
to check our office space and say, yes, we are moving forward.
we
Like,
have gotten to the office
and
space.
to be honest, brother, I don't
Mm,
think, remember that even before, while we were even looking for the office space and we've gotten the
yeah.
office space, where I already
Mm,
paid the money for the office space. I had not been in
yes,
a relationship as at that time.
true. That's true.
In
We,
fact,
we we got the
the
office
brother,
space.
my husband in picture then was not even in picture. As in, like, I don't even think we've actually met in church. Even though we're in church, we see,
Mhm,
but it was not even in the picture as at that time.
mm.
So I would just say that in all things, once it is time, it is time.
It was like a whirlwind.
Yes, my mighty rushing wind.
And this for those who are single right now. We usually you hear the general teaching that, oh, you have to be in a relationship for a long time, you have to know this person for a long time, check out this person and the rest before you choose to marry this person. While that may be the general rule and the general principle, there are exceptions. And for you to be able to benefit from the exception, you must be somebody who is already ready for a relationship. You already know what you want. You already know how to identify it. You already know how to position yourself for it. And you also know how to receive it, right? It's one thing to pray for a blessing, it's another thing to be able to receive that blessing. And you are able to see your blessing. You know, Abraham saw the strangers passing. They were strangers. He attended unto them as strangers, not knowing that they were angels. Right? So it's one thing for you to be able to be alert and sensitive to know that no, this person is not a player. No, this person is real. No, yes, this person is going fit into everything that I want. Like someone like Adiola mentioned right now, from when everything started to when they got married, it was just so fast. About 4 months thereabout. And
About
interestingly,
4 months.
that's the same story with my dad and my stepmom, who happens to be the most amazing stepmom in the world. The first time my dad met her, like the first time they ever knew each other, was April. Then, well, whether by June or something, they started their relationship. By August, they have done their marriage registry, right? And
Interestingly, we actually met during April period too. So when you mention
oh,
maybe God does wonders during April, especially during what's it called? Easter period. Let me
mhm,
just share of the highlight of how we met. Okay, so
right on.
remember that there was a period of time we had a bit of crisis in my church and I left and I came over
Yes,
to it happens to be your church. So I was
yeah,
attending then, and in my head I'm like, oh, okay, this is like a new generational church, and there'll be so many cool guys.
mm,
We want a godly guy, we want a Christian relationship,
mhm,
godly
true,
men. So I felt like, okay, this place is actually a good place. Number one,
yeah,
spiritually, they are sound.
mm,
Doctrine
mhm,
wise, it's somewhere I
mhm,
could actually relate, and I could see my contemporaries like in the legal field. We had people
yeah,
like some of my colleagues there. So,
yeah,
and there was a platform for us to actually grow spiritually. There was actually a
mhm,
platform for us to grow intellectually in our professions too. So I felt like I
yeah,
felt comfortable, but I have a spiritual father, a spiritual
mm,
mentor, let me say that. And one of these days, he just called me and said, go back to where you're tied. That's the Baptist, the church where I
yeah,
left. He said I should go back there. And to be honest, it felt difficult. Number one, my church then did not have good music. Global Adverse had
mhm,
powerful music. Like,
mhm,
that for a
yeah,
contemporary person it was
yeah,
a place for me to be. So when he said that, I'm like, number one, then I already sized up everybody in my church, like all the single brothers. If you are
mhm.
hearing me, yes, I to some extent I already sized them up.
It's
I was
normal.
already growing. I'm
They
growing in
size
my
you up
career.
too.
As at then,
Yeah.
I was the secretary of FIDA, and to some
Mm,
extent, I was already dreaming of having my law, what's it called, my law firm. And even during that period, I was doing something. I think that was the period we did onboarding. I already had
Yeah.
programs I wanted to do for myself. At that period of time, I already made up my mind. If relationship is relationship, let it be relationship. If there's no relationship, there's no
Sure.
relationship. All I wanted to do was grow personally. It's a personal
Sure.
decision. So even the discussions or conversation about relationship, even if you say it's just like falling on deaf ears. So eventually, out of out of reluctancy, and I prayed about it, so I tried to go back to church. I think the Sunday I got back to my previous church, Baptist President Baptist Church. It was that Sunday they had a meeting, and they wanted someone to head the youth department. And the
Okay.
Lord fell on me. I'm like, which kind will I be this? They asked me to return back to church, and Lord come fall on me as youth president again. And it was a guy that handed over to me, and the youth
Yeah.
fellowship was a bit scattered, and we're just trying to rebuild it.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was, I had so many commitments. In fact, that period of time, because I was single, I did not want any space, like no space for thinking about relationship. And I would advise
True.
young people, single ladies, get busy. Don't just let this I'm single overwhelm you. Get busy, busy doing the right
True.
thing. Actually, get busy doing the right thing, and God really rewards labors of love. And he said in his word that he would diligently reward our labors of love. So one of these days, my dear brother, who is my husband, is part of the youth members. He traveled to Lagos for a program.
Okay.
He's doing a training. He was doing a training for some people. And interestingly, one member of the church now called me, one of my big mommy in church, that said, did you notice that brother in church is not coming to church? And I said, which brother? Already, this brother already said hi to me one Sunday like that. I'm like, who is this brother? Who is this top brother inside our church that
Yes, because
last,
he's he's
now
he's very
I
tall.
don't know.
He's taller than me. He's the way they describe Saul in the Bible, head and shoulders above all of Israel.
Yes, I'm like, who is this tall brother in church? And in my head, I'll be honest, in my head, I already sized, like I said, I sized up every guy in
Mm.
church. Like last, now banker you be. And I don't know why. Bankers just kind of irritates me because walking to bank and they see you or something, they'll come and ask you how far. They will exchange number with you. So a part of me just felt last now Ibadan where we day. The maximum thing guys do mostly
Mm.
build up guys like this na banker.
Mm-hmm.
So now, so my dear brother travel. They now asked me to check up on him. I did not really do it, but because I was a youth president, I had to check up
Yes.
on him. And we now started conversation during checking up, like, hello brother, how far? We don't see you for church or waiting the happen. Now said he's in Lagos, he's doing training for some people. And I asked him which kind of training. He now said
Mm.
something about is it animation or virtual reality and extended
Okay.
reality. I'm like, waiting with that again. To be honest, that was almost like the very first time I'm hearing AR, VR. I'm like, okay, waiting.
Yes.
And the lawyer spirit in me would not let it go. Now, so I enter brother's Facebook. I do investigative journalist, and I started seeing pictures. There was one time this Facebook guy Mark came to Nigeria. I saw his picture
Yeah.
with Mark. I'm like, guy, what did they do for Ibadan? That's the very first thing. That's what like I was coming from the realm of this guy is a banker and seeing
Mm-hmm.
him in a tech world. Out of
That's right.
curiosity, I'm like, what the hell? What are you doing in Ibadan? People like you don't stay like what exactly? Not even in Ibadan. Even if you are staying in Ibadan, maybe you are staying somewhere around that Bodija axis. You
That's
know the
right.
caliber of people there.
That's
And
right.
I was like, what are you doing inside my village? That was how we started the conversation. And one thing, two things. Interestingly, This my dear brother is just his house and my house is just one building that is between us. Like, and he's been in
It
that
was, it
estate
was,
for
it was a neighborhood love.
which no it was not neighborhood love. Oh. I never for once met him on the way.
Wow.
His house is just one block between my house. I never for once met him in the estate. I never for once
Wow.
met him in front of his gate. The only time I meet him is inside the church. After
Wow.
church, everybody go their way. He was not accusing me that there was one time he said hi to me that I snubbed him. I'm like, how did I snub you? I did not even notice that you even existed. If not because somebody asked me to come and check up on you, I wouldn't have checked up on you. And that it was Easter period, and that was how it
Mm.
started. From
Wow.
saying taking responsibility of saying hi to a brother in church.
Mm.
And like they say, the rest is history. And that was how we
So
met.
it was even beyond, it was beyond saying hi to a brother in church, right? Because it was more or less like a journey. So you were trying to find rest, and you were trying to find pleasure, right?
Mm.
You were trying to find community that matched and suited your reality. And
Mm.
then you happen to now be someone who obeys the authority you have over your life. If not, so your mentor says go back, you'd have given all the explanations in this world why you should not. You could have refused. You could have said, no, 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 I don't think I want to go back there. And the rest, these are the reasons why I left before. And when you got there, you also you were also open to serve. I remember how we were laughing, and you mentioned that the moment you got there, they knocked you. like
To be honest,
like
like
they were waiting for you, like just show face,
like the
just show
angel
face,
just
let
like
me.
directed me from from
Mm.
wherever I was. And
So you were able, you accepted that responsibility of being the head, right, of the youth fellowship. If you did not accept that responsibility of being the head of the youth fellowship, you wouldn't have been told that somebody had left church.
true.
So you were told that somebody had left church, and responsibility made you to reach out to this person. Reaching out to this person, getting what the person, hearing what the person does. You could have just said, okay, thank God I've checked up on him, I've fulfilled all righteousness and moved away. But you decide to say, okay, let me even know what this person is talking about. Let me get to even know what this person is talking about. Like, what's the kind of job this person is doing, and who is this person? And so why we thank God and we acknowledge grace, and we acknowledge mercy and favor bringing you guys together, we cannot deny the fact that you did the work. You also did the work. You know the way Apostle Paul said, he said, the grace of God did not find me empty, right? It did not find me lazy. And he said, see, this grace that is upon me, I have labored more than the other apostles, right? You took advantage of the grace and the favor by the things you did. I am so happy for you and happy with you. Okay, MMG is around. Let me add her right away. Mercy Grace, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening. I'm fine.
How your body?
Body dey inside clothes.
In a typical Nigeria way, you don't chop.
I never chop well, now nugget and chicken and chips I chop small. It's
Oh
that
no,
time of
no,
the month
no.
and my whole body is everywhere.
Oh, sorry. Good to have you. Good to have you. Okay. Adiola married last year, and we just heard her story of how she met her husband.
Yes,
How
yes,
it was
beautiful story.
a 4 months period. In 4 months, she had already met she had met this guy, and they are married. And now by November it will be 1 year, right?
Yeah,
Nice.
1 year after
Yeah.
1 year. Because we did our
I
registry
I
deposit.
love how she put in the work.
Yes.
She literally became an FBI undercover and obvious agent. Like literally, I thought he said he was in banking. What was he doing with Zuckerberg? What was he doing in Ibadan? I'm like, correct. Not, oh, he told me he was in Ibadan. And I was like, okay, it does make sense, but I was doubting, but I'm not sure. She's like, mm-mm. She did not do in the corner, by the corner, out of the corner. Waiting there inside there. I won't know. I won't know. Let us talk. Let us find out. I love that.
And MMG, we've shared your story of how you met your husband, how you met Luke and the red. And MMG, wait, MMG, your marriage was also last year, now early this year. When again?
Last year, December
Last year,
28th.
December. Ah,
Yeah.
Christmas people. So
Yeah.
these are, ladies and gentlemen, we have November and December marriages here, and is actually interesting. So we today, like I said, we are talking about the newly married women and the experiences that they get to have. So MMG, I would like to ask you this question: what is the best part? What's the best thing about being married? As someone who was single, the good thing about it is that the two of you were single for a while. Like you were
Yeah.
single, the Nigeria single that family members would have started praying, other people would have started praying for you.
Yeah, my mother put my name on NSPPD list. Trust and believe. Yeah.
So
I can
in fact,
imagine.
I remember even when Adiola's mom died, it was not like, oh, who will be praying for her now? Be praying for her marriage and the rest. but here we are. We are
Yeah.
all married. So I would like to ask, what is the best thing about being married for you, MMG?
First of all, for me, the best thing about being married is actually being married to the right person is the first thing I should say. Because it's one thing to be married, but if you're not married to the right person, you literally are just in bondage or in a prison sentence. That's just the honest fact. So
Yeah.
because for me, Luke and I, we did things differently. We lived together for almost a year before we got married.
Wow.
And people always ask me after I got married, oh, how is marriage likely to know? Has anything changed? And I said to them, honestly, no. The one thing that changed for me when we got married was Luke's credit card became ours. It was no longer his.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that changed in our marriage. My debts became our debts. His debts became our debts. That was what we agreed on. That's the only thing that changed. Everything was still the same. Everything was still the same. So because I married somebody that has sense, I did not marry an idiot. And because of that, I can say literally, I was determined not to have the kind of marriages I've seen on both sides of my family, where it's a case of just, staying in a marriage for the sake of the children or because of society. No. I'm actually enjoying being married because I'm married to my friend. And I'm married to somebody who wants the best for me at all times. So for me, I can say I am enjoying marriage because it's with somebody that the trust is mutual, affection is mutual, everything within us is, it's a bond that is very, 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 very strong, and it's something that makes us still keep learning about each other, and we keep understanding, unlearning, relearning. And to be honest, it's I'm seeing him as also my silent business partner in everything I do. This man has gotten into quite a lot of debt just this year alone, just to help me get my own business off the ground. So
Wow.
I am, I am innately blessed by God, to be honest, to be with him. And the one thing I
Great.
will say, and the one thing I will say for me is that I actually do not see the difference, like I said, except that we now decided to make our debt officially each other's own. But other than that, it's still not different from when we were not married, because like everything was clear, everything was there, and I think it just made marriage just made our bond closer, because we both said we are getting too old for all this nonsense. He's not interested in starting over again. I'm not interested in starting over again. So we are making sure that we're putting in the work, because a lot of people assume that, to have a good marriage is just, easy la di da. No, it is a bad marriage that doesn't take work.
Mhm.
A
I
bad
get
marriage
that.
doesn't take work at all. Because literally it is status quo. You are
Mhm.
married to a wicked man, a wicked woman, and you just have to live with the consequences because you want to keep maintaining a certain appearance to the outside world. But when you're in a good marriage, this is where you actually have to make sure you're conscious of your partner's boundaries. You're conscious of your
True.
partner's likes and dislikes. You're conscious of
True.
what your partner needs. You're conscious of everything regarding you as an individual and your partner as an individual, and also respecting the fact that even in marriage, you will both need space to do your own individual thing.
Mhm.
Like earlier this year, I had a miscarriage, and it literally just turned things upside down for me. And to be honest, our sex life just went boom, it just went down. And the one
Yeah.
thing that Luke learned from that was that, you know what, sex isn't all that if your wife is not into it, and he's gone with the flow. Like
Mhm.
literally, I can bring up my app on Flow
Mhm.
and mark when we've had sex, because I literally just went off it after that. And he's
Mhm.
been very, very understanding about it.
Mhm.
Very understanding. And then I read so many of these stories online about people that are married and their husbands either they say because of they saw their wife in delivery, or because the woman has not given birth, wanting, that's why they have a side chick. That's why they
Mhm.
couldn't wait until after she was pregnant, for after she just gave birth, to have sex with her 2 weeks. All these silly things. I'm like, I can't relate to it because of my experience,
True.
with Luke. And I remember someone even once saying to another friend, an old foolish friend, ex-friend rather now, was saying that, oh, it was because I was married to a white man. I laughed and I said, Luke has Irish heritage. The Irish
Yeah.
are very close to Africans when it comes to their family ideologies.
Mhm.
They are very close to the Africans. Luke has some old school ways about him. He will tell my
Mhm.
godson, you can't speak to your mother that way. This one, that one, that one. He still has a lot of these very chivalrous attitudes,
Mhm.
because my father-in-law is the same way.
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, if you choose to get married because of society saying get married, anything your eye sees is what you would take. But if you're choosing to get married because you want companionship, and then, oh, I also want to have children because I want to leave a
Mhm.
legacy behind. I also
Mhm.
want to be able to have, my own children, because having children is
Mhm.
is literally a selfish reason 9 times out of 10.
Mhm.
So
True.
at the end of the day, if you're choosing to do that, but you're choosing to do it according to societal standards, you more than likely will end up with the wrong person. You would ignore all the red flags, every single one of them. As in, when I was listening to Adela's story, I was like, I'm so impressed, because you hear so many stories from women, and I'm grateful that Adela's husband is top above board and everything. There are so many women that will see so many of the things Adiola was looking at, and they will not say anything because they're afraid to rock the boat. They're afraid that if they touch
Yeah.
it, they will see something they will not like, and that means they
Mhm.
will have to be forced to walk away. So they'll rather do eyes right, eyes left, and then after marriage, they will not say, oh, I did not know. I did not
You know.
know. And I'm like, okay. So
But-
sometimes, to be honest, I
Mhm.
would say a lot of times, a lot of Africans make marriage to feel like it's a do or die affair.
Mhm.
Like it's such a
When
do or die affair.
it's just something you're supposed to, if you make it, if you choose to just see it as you make it proper and right decisions and life
Yeah.
choices, it will naturally just flow with your life. There was something one of the couples that I attended to today, or there was something I told them, and it was very interesting. I asked them a question. I said, what do you want in your marriage, right? Do you want your
Mm-hmm.
marriage to be like the reign of David, or you want your marriage to be like the reign of Solomon. They did not understand, so I'll try and explain it out. I said David fought more than 43 battles, right? He fought wars and he never lost any. In fact, I cannot remember any scripture right now where he got an injury from a war, right? But he fought these wars, he won them. In fact, even on his deathbed, he was still fighting wars. This time, it became the wars of his children. His kids were wanting to kill him. Like, this is David, the man after God's heart, right? He was so protected, he was so safe, and he was so secure, but he spent his life fighting, from killing of the bear and killing of the lion down to ensuring that his children did not kill him and Solomon was enthroned, right before he died. I said, on the other hand, we have Solomon, who did not fight one war. He did not have one war. He did not fight one war. So I told them, I said, choose. Which type of marriage do you want? Do you want the one that you are always fighting? Yes, you will always be winning. Right? Nobody says you will not win the battles. You will fight, you will win, you will seek counseling, you will win, you will pray, you will win, you will do this and that, you will win, you will overcome and all of that. And you will always carry the book of Psalms and be using the book of Psalms to be saying powerful prayers and the rest over your life or over your marriage. I say, is that the kind of marriage that you want? Or you want the type like Solomon? A life like Solomon of just peace, no conflicts. Nobody, you are just living at peace and everything is just going smoothly. There's tranquility in your marriage. And I like, choose. And they looked at me. I said, yes. Many Christians, even today, choose to be like David. Oh, Lord God, you are going to give me the nations. Kings will fall at my feet. This and that, that and that. It's fine if that is what you want. But me, I don't have power to fight. I just want to flex. I just want to enjoy life. I don't want to stress myself in marriage and do something. So that's why how you choose is very important. How you choose can never be taken for granted. So Adiola, I want to ask you the next question. And that next question will be for someone like you who dated your husband for about 4 months. Right, you dated your husband for about 4 months before you guys finally got married, and interestingly, it was just everything was just a rushing mighty wind, because after your marriage, just few months after, the two of you relocated to the UK. So you are now in the midst of a new culture, new lifestyle, everything. So I would like to ask you, what has been your biggest challenge thus far in this marriage?
Biggest challenge. To be honest, I would say, do we actually have challenge? Number one, like she said, like Mercy Grace said, you know that one of the things that I really desperately wanted, like on the top of my list, was to marry my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we did not have a very long courtship, I can attest to the fact that my husband is my friend.
Just thanks.
And sometimes he will just say, he himself will just tell me that he's not feeling as if he's married, though. He feels like he's having a relationship with his friend. And that's how we've been dealing with each other. Sometimes it might not be easy sometimes. I would say one of the things is cultural backgrounds might be a challenge. I'm the first child and the firstborn in my family. And when my mom happens to pass on, I became like more like the mother in the house. So I'm used to just giving instructions to people and using the word please. Like I was just used to dishing out instruction. Oh yeah, you do this, you do that. My husband likes you using this word please. Like so normally I'll just say, babe, help me with this thing. You will now say, I've not used the word please. I'm like,
The
so
magic word, help, please. Thank you.
please, thank you. I'm like, so number one, this cultural background.
And
Well,
yeah,
is from
Yoruba and he said do.
is Edo, yes, is from a part of Yoruba, is Akoko Edo.
Mm,
So more
mhm,
like is you half Yoruba, half Edo.
mm,
So cultural background. Then I will now say cultural shock. Coming to the UK after
mm,
marriage is something different. High. Like it is when we first came, UK people they are like everybody mind your own business. No communal
mhm,
living, no communal life. Even when you go to church, at the point because we attend the white church, the Baptist church. At
mm.
the point, I'm like, I don't want to go to this church again. Since we've been coming to this church after about 3 months, like nobody's even saying hello, hi, how are you guys doing? What's up? What are your challenges? Like nobody even like I told him like I don't even
Nobody
want to
sends you.
nobody send you. Everybody just come to church after church service. Everybody find their square root. But eventually, we now started doing house fellowship like home cell, and
Mm,
it's been really amazing. But that first time when we first came, like the first 3 4 months, settling down, getting your own space,
mm.
moving to work in the office is even another different thing. Nigeria now, once you are working with people, everybody cares
Yeah,
about, hope you are good, hope
yeah,
you are doing this.
yeah.
Nobody's there. Even till now, nobody's saying if they like, they will say good morning to you. If they don't like, they not
Mm,
go say good morning to you. Everybody's just like everybody just flow with the rhythm.
mm.
Nothing. And not like you people will have parties that you go out, you gist, small
Ah,
team, office would, if not office, the legal community, MBA
mm.
would do something. Not
NBA are not the
as
parties.
nothing, my brother, nothing happen. You go to work in the morning, you do your schedule. The maximum thing where people will interact is on the Google Meet. If anything happen, they send memo to the group is mail. Last,
Mm,
everybody meet online. You guys are in the office, so sometimes people in front of you, your team lead, nobody would. If nothing, what should I say? If nothing happen, everybody's just
mm.
on their own. So that culture, your neighbor no send you. I don't even know who my neighbor is up to this moment because they don't care. But we decide,
But it will give you more time to be able to now focus on that friendship with your man, since you may have little or no distraction. How about that
mm,
part?
yeah, I was just going to say that we just decided to tell ourselves, see, come here.
Mm,
Oh. Now only both of us we get like last. Now just two of us. If we like, we fight. We settle one. So
who you
even
want
if
report to?
exactly, so even if we quarrel, maybe we have some misunderstanding. By
Mm,
evening, we'll settle it because now still
mm,
both of us.
mm,
So eventually, it's still both of us. Unlike
mm.
having I'll say backup in Nigeria. If you guys are
Yeah.
having issues at home, yeah, you can still say, maybe I'll sort it in the office. You put on a smiling
Mm,
face in the office. You people see people
mm,
to laugh at. When you get
mm,
back home, you go back to your ID move. But yeah, now both of us now we last. So if we fight, we go settle am. If we don't settle it in the morning, by the time we want to eat dinner or breakfast, anything together, we'll still
mm,
settle it. So
mm,
eventually, it's help us. It's really been helping to us because beyond this what should I say cultural thing in Nigeria where everybody's in the ice is in your space, family
mm.
members in your space, everything.
Why you not yet pregnant? What is happening? Are people eating? How come you people are not wearing
You go to church, how
anko?
come you guys are not wearing the same clothes
Uh,
together? How
are
come
you
you
still
guys are
living
not doing
this same
this? Your house is
area?
not like this. You understand? So it's really been helpful.
Hmm.
Like it's helped us grow. Number one,
Yes.
spiritually, it helped us grow
Hmm.
from where we are coming from and from where we are. It's really
Hmm.
helped us. because we've grown in the culture of doing our family devotion. Nasty both of
Yeah.
us. We'll join hands together, pray
Now
over
family now.
things. Exactly. We fight, we make up, we go out together, we come back home together during the cold period. Like, you warm yourself together too. It's really, really been amazing.
Great, great, awesome, awesome. Thank you. In fact, there's a suggestion that MMG was giving, and this is also to every Nigerian in diaspora, especially those who are just relocated there. There are different Nigeria communities that you could also join. You could join them online and be able to continue the family relationship. At least you have people who you can easily relate with and all of that, right? Okay, I know Adela is saying that there is a group for Nigerian women in the UK, which is only for women. Well, women, people always like association, association, association. But women, anywhere we see ourselves and gather, we are association for the day. And,
it's because of you men don't want to. We try to create a Nigerian men in the UK group, but Nigerian men, as in, I
it
beg,
does not work. It does.
as in, una the tire person. That's all I can say.
No,
Abeg.
once we see and we connect, our association has formed. It has been instituted. After that day, it has dissolved till we meet again. So, MMG, I will be coming to you right now. What is it that you have learned about yourself, right, in marriage? What is it that marriage has helped you to learn about yourself?
Oh, it helped me to learn a lot. The one thing it's helped me to. Let me start with number one. The one thing it's helped me to realize is that over the years, because of I changed so much of myself to please people, I ended up just going to this stripped bare version of myself where, as in, I was like zero fucks. If you like it. If you like, don't like it. And Luke is the opposite. Luke is very diplomatic, but he'll be very straight with you, and he's very wise. And he keeps referring to me as a bull in a china shop. And it cost me a really big falling out with a friend recently. And I realized that, okay, I am not the greatest with words when I'm angry. Even though I would say I've calmed down, then 2 days later I text you. Nope, it is still not great. So I've come to realize that using a voice note, if I can't do a phone call, is the only way that I can avoid being a bull in a china shop and avoid my words being misconstrued and the emotions I'm feeling to be passed across. Another thing is that in marriage, I've discovered that how do I phrase this? I am more vulnerable than I have ever been. That's just the best way to phrase it, because for a long time I was able to hide so much of myself and so much of the things I was dealing with. But with Luke, I can literally just bear it all. When I say bear it all, like everything from my medical issues to my medical challenges to my emotional and mental health challenges, everything. And it's such a relief to have somebody that I can do that with, because it's a gift in itself to have a partner who is that understanding. Because at some point I was beginning to feel like as if maybe I'm trying to make excuses and not putting in as much as I put. And then Luke is like, no, because you're so busy trying to be strong out there for everyone else, you fail to realize that you need to give yourself a break. Cut yourself some slack. So he cut me a lot of slack. And because of that, I cut myself a lot of slack. And one thing I've discovered in marriage also is that I am not good with planning. I thought I was good with planning, but I'm shit at it. And I am terrible at time management. My husband is great at it, and he's encouraging me in the right way. And I didn't realize this was a problem for me, that I always assumed I had more time than I had. So, for example, I'll say I'm helping to do A, B, C, D, E, my job, somebody else is this one and that one. And in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do 15 minutes. Oh yeah, it'll be 30 minutes. And Luke was like, he actually made me understand that I actually did not understand the concept of time.
Wow.
And it was, I struggled to accept that at first, because I'm like, what does it mean by I don't understand the concept of time? But because of the fact that Luke and I have this no judgment zone with ourselves, where we will
Yeah.
tell each other the truth.
Mm.
Like, there's no, oh, we want to try and butter it up. We'll be nice and kind to each other, but we'll tell each other the truth. And so after I actually started to accept that, okay, I actually struggle with the concept of time in itself, whereby I think I have
Yeah.
30 minutes, but I actually don't. I have less than 30 minutes, but in my head is 30 minutes. And it's amazing to be with somebody who gets me so well, more than I even get my own self. And he knows how to get to me when we are both getting upset with each other, or having a disagreement and leading to an argument. Immediately he just goes, either he tries to shush me or tells me to, please, could you shut up? Because he knows that's the only way that you will snap me out of my, should I call it my my high strung emotion at that moment.
Mhm.
And it always snaps. And the moment that he does that, I literally just go, what did you just do? And calm down, and then we talk. And I'm like, I didn't realize that when I'm in the emotion of either being angry or upset,
Mm.
or just very, very disappointed, that literally my ears become blocked. Like, I'm only just seeing, I
You
literally
don't want
have
to hear
blinkers.
anything again. You don't want to
Yeah,
hear.
I literally have blinkers on. And
Mm.
he's the one person that actually figured out 2 words that make my blinkers just drop.
Mm.
And it's amazing that he uses that not because he wants to silence me, but because I literally am not listening, but I don't realize I'm not listening,
Yeah.
because I am that emotional at that point in time. So
Mm.
he has that logical gift where he also can be emotional, don't get me wrong, but he's
Yeah.
so logical that he's always able to bring me into that place of logic when I am just going all around the place. And every time I'll be like, did you just tell me to shut up? You'll be like, I apologize, but babe, you were not listening. I go, oh, okay.
You know why you were saying these things, why you were giving these stories and these analogies. It just something dropped on my mind, and that's something that I usually want to ask newly married women. And of course, it's going to be leading to the question that I'll be asking Adiola, and that's the fact that we have been taught, or we have heard so much about the Proverbs 31 woman, and everybody is wanting. Yeah, you are not close to it. MMG, the way you are laughing is like you are very far from it.
The reason I'm laughing is because of I'm one of the few people that believe that scripture is actually one of the most interpreted scriptures of all time. Because the Proverbs 31 woman, that woman was a rich woman. She did not she did not touch a pin. She had people that were doing things for her.
She was
Like,
an administrator.
exactly. She was using her money to live a baby girl lifestyle. But the Nigerian version is the woman is the one doing the baby girl lifestyle by herself. You guys actually don't understand what it means to have servants with an S, to have businesses with an S. She was an employer of labor. Her husband was also living baby boy lifestyle, sitting down at the gate with his legs crossed. Basically, it was an elder that people just came to look for advice. And all she did was wake up in the morning and say, okay, so who is is it Martha doing the kitchens today? Martha coordinate with Mary regarding food buying. How much money is needed? Coordinate with the accountant to get it. Like, her own was just to make sure you were not abusing her money.
True.
That was all. You are not abusing her money, and you are not abusing the access she has given you to
she
her
was
network.
She was an administrator. She was just an administrator. She's different from the today's woman who has to be an administrator. You have to be the staff. You have to be the technician. You have to be the servant.
Breastfeeder.
You have to be everything.
Everything. And I'm like,
So,
over 31. Nigerian men, if you people really knew what that was, you people will stop using it to actually ask for your wife to be that, because the money will not get them.
stop it. Stop it. I'll mute you. I'll mute you. Please stop it. Adiola, let me ask, what's that thing that you have learned in marriage? Like, what's that surprising thing you have learned in marriage? MMG told us some of the things marriage um, has revealed in her, right? Some of the things she was not conscious of before, but through marriage, her husband and this union, she's able to see them. So I'll be asking, what is it that in marriage that actually surprised you? Like maybe something you thought that you were a master or you're a pro of, and by the time you got married, you just got that, man, it be like say I be late now. Like something that surprised you in your marriage.
But honestly speaking, it feels like it's almost the same. Number one, time management.
Mhm.
It is until when we get married that we know say time. We don't feel manage time. To be honest, it's either you are too late or you are too early or you are too this. To be
Mm,
honest, we used to fight. I think we even had a quarrel on Sunday. He said I was one
mhm,
that made them go. Okay, we had some guests over and we needed
mm,
to go to church.
mm.
I was one that practically made everybody go late to church. So, so this time management thing,
Mm.
God help, it's God that will help us. Not as if we are doing it willingly. Now,
So
God,
let me even ask. Let me
Honestly,
even,
we're not doing it willingly, and I'm glad Luke understands that I'm not doing it willingly. At
I'm
one
not
point,
doing it
you,
willingly, to be
at one
honest.
point, Luke started to add 30 minutes, 15 minutes to time, but I've clicked out on it. So now I go, is it really 8:30 or is it 8:15? Which
You
is it?
understand? And
And he
sometimes if
goes,
we don't set alarm,
okay,
we
honestly,
don't
babe,
know.
I've actually not added to it, because of it's not added to it, it's actually now made me more guilty, and I now tried to, okay,
Mhm.
he's not added to it, so he's trying to trust me. Let me make the effort.
Well, that's the okay. Wow, the time is already 8:52 p.m. Nigeria time. Man, it's been amazing already. And I don't want to keep people beyond 9 p.m. because I don't want your husbands to come after me, right? Although I'm safe in Ibadan, right? But I don't want to put them through the stress of coming of coming after me. So I'll ask a two-in-one question, right? I'll ask a two-in-one question, and I want you people to just see how you can answer it as your last words on this. So I'll be starting with MMG. So the first part of the question is, what is it that you are grateful about regarding your marriage? And the second part of the question is, what is that counsel you want to give to newly married women? And that's the
I'm
same
actually
question I'll be asking Adiola.
okay. I'm actually grateful for having a husband who truly he sees me as his equal and his partner, that we are doing this thing called life together.
Mm,
And in as much as we'll have our ups and downs, it's the fact that the communication between us is 100% on point. Now, I just
mm,
sometimes I'm not going to communicate with him about things because I know he worries and gets anxious too much when it comes to me and
mm,
finance and things like that. Yeah, there would be. But then he knows without a shadow of a doubt that I will never do anything to hurt him. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that this man will never do anything to hurt me. And so I
mm.
always advise people that when you see the red flags from the beginning in marriage, don't ignore them.
Yeah.
Don't ignore them, because some people say, oh, well, I'm in it now. No, because you can actually have a separation and put
Mm,
boundaries in place, because a lot of men think that because they've married to you, so anything you see, you will take it like that. No, from day one,
yeah.
put that boundary in place. Because,
Mm,
just because of Luke's privacy, there are some things I cannot say, but there are some things I have to
yeah.
say to him that it's going to either be this way or the highway for me. And
Mm-hmm.
he himself later on came back to say, okay, babe, you're actually not being, too um demanding. What you're asking for is actually right. I've thought about it. So yeah, this is the concession I will make.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of he knew that I was so serious about it. I was so serious
Mm-hmm.
about it that, at one point I made sure that he was sleeping in his office room and I was in my own bedroom. That's how
Mm-hmm.
serious I was. So at the end of the day, you want to be married to this person, fine. Okay, for example, you get married to the person, and this actually happened to somebody I know, not me. You got married to this person and you realize that the person is a gambler. Like literally every money that her husband earns, he's inside the football, those football places in Nigeria,
Yes.
best places,
Yes.
he's inside there. You've seen this from the beginning, and yet you have not said it's a do or die in terms of, if I do not have access to your bank account or to your bank card, there's no point in us continuing. But instead you go, I will pray, I will talk and pray, God will help us. And then tomorrow you start crying on social media that, or to your family and friends, that you need money. Your landlord is about to throw you out because your husband has gambled away your children's school fees. You saw the red flags from the beginning, but you did nothing about it to enforce it.
True.
You just stood and watched it happen. You did nothing about it. And now you're everywhere crying that, you need money, you need this, you need that. And, I had to say to them, because it just feels like, I said, you saw all these signs from the beginning, but you chose to still stay because marriage was a do or die affair for you. Now you're saying, oh, he's usually been successful with investments. I said, no. For example, someone like Luke is the logical person when I'm making business investments. And he's more logical than me. And I go to him and I talk to him and I tell him, this is this, this is this, this is this. Like recently with the new business I started, he said to me, don't go more than 3 investors, babe, because you will struggle to manage it. And I listened. So you see the red flags with your husband, whether he has a gambling problem or whether he doesn't take his health seriously. And from day one,
or whether he's flirting with multiple people at the same time.
Yes, and you don't put a boundary in place. Guess what? Anything your eyes see, you cost it. Because you refuse to stand for what you know you deserve. It's like there's a picture circulating on Facebook at the moment about this lady in a red dress that got beaten by her ex-lover. Because he said if he's not marrying her, nobody else will marry her. And then when I found out the backstory, I said to my friend, I'm sorry, but I have zero pity for her. You found out in January that this man is married, still married to his wife, and you decided to leave him, which was good on you. Then somebody called you on the phone that they have a diesel supply business for you. When you asked them, how did they get your contact? You heard his voice in the background shouting, oh, it's from me. Number 6 did not tell you sharply, drop that call, cancel that number, and run to the opposite side. You carried your legs to go to the so-called business meeting. Then afterwards, he offered to drop you at your destination. You carried your head and entered the car. A man that deceived you for almost, was it 2 years or so? Then because I'm like, it tells me that you actually do not value your life more than you value money. Because if you value your life, someone that you said deceived you that he was divorced, but he wasn't, then went on to give your phone number to somebody, that's why you know that he was begging you to come back, you said no. But yet, because the person said it was coming from him, you quickly ran to the place because of money and it's connected to him. I'm like, the red flag were all there, but you chose to ignore them. It's the same thing in marriage. When you see it from the beginning, put your foot down and get it sorted. Otherwise, you're staying with that thing for the rest of your life.
And if you are not sorting it, if you are not sorting it, if you are unable to sort it in your relationship, then be ready to accommodate and tolerate it in marriage.
Exactly.
Right. If there are issues, because right now I see people, I remember somebody called me for counseling and mentioning particular things, and by the time I listed out all the issues the person was having in the marriage, I asked the question, did you notice all of these things in the relationship? And the person noticed them more than 10 times in the relationship. And I said, good, you chose to tolerate them, you chose to accommodate them. In fact, you planned that when you get married you are going to manage them. So let's see how you are going to manage them. Because I don't think you planned that they were going to change. You planned that you're going to adapt to them. So let's see, that will be our work. Our work will be how to help you adapt to them, because you saw this and you chose it. We do not have the power to control people. People have to make that decision to change for themselves. They have to make that decision to say, this is my life. I think I need to do better. And if they are not making that decision, trust me, you cannot make them make that decision. You'll be frustrated. You want to play the work of the Holy Spirit. See, from Genesis to Revelations, God tried changing humans and tried making humans better. when it got to Revelations, after all was done, Jesus Christ said, "Behold, I stand at the door of your heart and knock. If anyone hears my voice and open the door to me, I shall come in and sup with him." In the sense that even God cannot enter some of those people's hearts because they don't want to open the door to him. Right? So how do you now intend to change a person that God cannot change? Thank you so much for that contribution, Mercy Grace. Adiola, yes, 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 to you.
Okay. One of the things I'm grateful to God for is being married to a friend, to my friend. That it's a
Mm,
blessing. I cannot overemphasize that. See, beyond like my husband would say sex in relationship is overrated. If you guys cannot deal with each other, according to like being friends, sex is overrated
mm,
because there will be issues that would take sex away from your marital life. Sometimes medical issues,
mm, mm,
So when there's no sex, if sex is the climax of the relationship,
mm.
or if money is the climax of the relationship, and you guys have difficulty, what will
Yeah.
happen? To be honest, being married to a friend and being of the same fold, also of the same
Mm,
fold, of the same faith, where we know that yes, our spiritual strength is from God and we can draw strength from each other. When someone is
yeah.
down, the other person can lift the person up. I think
Mhm,
it's one of the basic blessing God has done for me. And like we're saying, my advice to singles: number one, know your worth. To be,
mm,
it cannot be overemphasized. Know your
yeah.
worth. If you don't know your worth, if you don't know what you carry, where you are going,
Mm,
how you get there, so many things will come, so many men will come your way. All right, I don't know if you remember, there was a period of time quite a number of Muslim guys were approaching me. I'm like,
yeah.
they swear for me or waiting happen. At some point, was divorcee. At some point, a lot of some like God saved me. I was in a serious relationship where eventually the guy was cheating.
Mhm,
It was told that he was smoking, drinking, had vices,
mm,
and actually broke me down because I was not expecting. This is someone we've actually see every day, even though he
mm,
denied it. But I'm grateful to God that I didn't end up in that relationship, and the way God did it, that we broke up that time, even though it was not palatable, but at the end of the day, I can look back and say, yes, it is. It's God ordering my step. So no, I would
mm,
say, as a single person, know your words, know what you can
yeah.
deal with and what you cannot deal with in relationship. Like MG has said, see, if you cannot deal with some things in relationship, in marriage, don't deal with it while you're in a relationship, because you eventually meet it. Then
Yeah.
another thing is, don't be idle doing nothing. While I can say, even Grace, while she was, everybody, most people that I know, while we were waiting, we
Mm,
were busy doing something for God, for ourselves, for humanity. We're not
yeah.
just I do. Quite a number of young ladies I see now, everybody is just sitting there and say, I will marry this handsome rich guy. Nothing.
Mhm,
As you are knowing your work, be busy doing God's work, be busy doing favors and doing things to humanity. Even God
yeah.
self, the guy that he gave talent to, the one talent, he said he was a wicked servant. He did not commit so much to him. When even the scripture
Mhm,
says, if you are diligent in small, if you are diligent as a single person, God will commit more into your hands. And
true.
number the third thing I'll say is, wait on God and follow his instruction. Obedience is better than sacrifice. To act him is better
That's the
than
part of
part of
course.
ram. So
Ah,
obedience.
I see Sabi Bible. Almost on the school.
So obedience is better. We have to be obedient. Don't
Mhm,
just rush because everybody is going into marriage, because everybody is attaining status of being married,
mm,
does not mean you should get married. Please let
mm,
us wait for our time. When the time of glorification will come, like I said, once it is time, everybody that were praying, pray. When it happened, like some people will just come in that have been praying that God, the way God did your own, that's the way God will do my daughter's own, the way God will do.
mm,
But they've forgotten those period of waiting and those period that they were frustrating my life. Not, you understand? Everybody have forgotten that period where the song they virtually sing to you when you go for that people's wedding. You know, so it's eventually it is you and your future. So don't be
Yeah.
too conscious of I'm single, I don't know
Mm.
when it will be. Just wait on God. Be diligent during the period of waiting. Don't be frustrated. The truth is, depression is real sometimes. It might get to you,
Yeah.
but know
Mhm.
your God, know who you serve. Then we have to be deeply rooted. All right, Passion Community, we are deeply rooted in God's word. We are deeply rooted in Christ, and we take him at his word. His word will not fail us, even in times of
Mm.
adversity. He said he's going to
Mm.
be with us. So eventually, God will still be God. See, like I used to say, there's a book I'm waiting on. I'm writing, The Waiting
Mm.
Room. Everybody has this junction. The fact that you are waiting in the room of relationship does not mean other people are
Yeah.
not waiting in different bus stops of their life or in different
True.
rooms of their life. Our
True.
waiting rooms are
True.
just differ. Because
True.
somebody is in another waiting room does not mean that you are in another waiting room will now be prognosing into that other person's waiting room. So everybody should just wait in their room, jeje. And when the time of manifestation, when it's time for your boss to appear, it will appear.
Mhm.
So I
Mm.
think we need to learn that lesson. Our waiting room are different. Some people's own are children, some are jobs, some are education. Everybody has their own period. So when our boss
True.
is ready to come, it will come and we will enter the bus and we arrive at our destination safely. So that's just my little.
Thank you so much. While you guys were talking, I was just jotting some things and trying to ensure that I'm also learning my own thing, right? Or although you don't take small chicken small like this where I married, just small, just 5 years ago.
Happy, oh.
And the rest. So, but of course, I was like, yes, I'm getting to learn all these things. And for everyone who is listening right now, please share this with your friends so that they get to learn the same things that you are learning. Um, go through it again and listen. If there's anything that I want to end tonight's discussion with, because next week, Thursday, 8 p.m., live on this same YouTube channel, we'll be discussing on first time moms, right? People, first time moms, how to handle that period of being a first time mom. If there's anything that I want to leave you with this evening, family and friends, if you're a newly married woman watching us, is that allow yourself grow. Allow yourself to metamorphose. You cannot come in as an expert. You cannot come in as a pro. You cannot come into your marriage like the Proverbs 31 woman, like Noah Bello said in the comment section, that she's even a proverbial woman, right? So you cannot just come into that marriage and you are just like, oh, you're the professional, you're the boss, you're the this and that. Just allow yourself grow. Allow yourself evolve. Allow yourself develop over time. Thank you so much, Mercy Grace. Thank you so much, Adela. It's good to have you people this evening. And to everyone who has participated, thank you so much. And this is me, yes, sincerely. My name is El, and I'm all right. And from the ancient and modern city of Ibadan.
Bye
You rock.
bye, people. Have a good evening, guys.
Bye,
Bye
Bye.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so